India and Japan don't have a shortage of agreements. Defense dialogues, joint exercises, logistics arrangements, technology pacts, they've done all of it. And now, in 2026, both governments are talking openly about something bigger: joint naval shipbuilding, defense research and development, deeper industrial cooperation across the board. Here's the uncomfortable question, though. Can any of this diplomatic momentum actually turn into weapons, systems, and industrial capacity that show up on time and in real numbers? Because a defense partnership isn't measured by how many meetings the ministers sit through. It's measured by what the factories produce. And that's exactly where this relationship starts to get complicated. Defense technology cooperation is its own animal. It takes engineers, production lines, testing facilities, certification, intellectual property arrangements, export controls, working supply chains, and, maybe hardest of all, companies willing to put in years of investment before they see any return. So, let's start with the basic problem here. India and Japan can agree on strategic goals almost instantly. Both countries want a free and open Indo-Pacific, and both are pretty concerned about the security of sea lanes. They also want stronger maritime awareness and sharper defense capabilities. Honestly, none of that takes much convincing. But, agreeing on a strategic objective is a lot easier than actually building something together. Imagine for a second, two companies shaking hands on an electric car project. The executives can sign that deal over lunch, no problem. But after that, somebody still has to design the battery, right? Somebody else has to build the motor. And then, someone has to figure out how to manufacture the thing at scale, not just get a prototype running in a lab. Defense cooperation works the same way, just with much bigger certification hurdles, security concerns, and political constraints layered on top of everything else. India and Japan have already felt this gap firsthand. It's called the Unicorn Project, short for Unified Complex Radio Antenna, an integrated communications antenna system built for Indian Navy ships. It's the first defense equipment transfer project the two countries have ever done together, which is exactly why it's become such a symbol of where this relationship actually stands. The antenna itself isn't really the point. What matters is the process behind it. Whether India and Japan can move from we agree to co-development to production to a working system on a ship. Pull that off, and they've built a template for much harder projects down the line. Fail, and the partnership risks staying something that looks great in a joint statement and barely exists on a factory floor. Which raises the next question. What happens once this moves from a single antenna project to an entire industrial ecosystem? Shipbuilding might be the real test. This is where 2026 gets genuinely interesting. India and Japan have agreed to explore joint development in naval shipbuilding and design, while also looking at how Japan might tap into India's production capacity under Make in India. They're even discussing reciprocal ship repair facilities. A warship isn't just a single product, it's really an ecosystem. And honestly, you need a supply chain that can support that ship for decades after it launches. Japan brings decades of experience in advanced shipbuilding, naval engineering, systems integration, and precision manufacturing. On the other hand, India brings something Japan increasingly needs: industrial scale and the capacity to actually produce at volume. On paper, that's about as complementary as it gets, with Japan handling the advanced design and engineering, plus a few high-end technologies, while Indian shipyards and suppliers take on the bulk of production. If it's done well, that lowers costs, expands capacity, and builds a defense-industrial relationship that goes far deeper than anything that exists today. But here's the catch, and honestly, it's not small. The two sides still have to settle exactly who builds what, who owns which piece of technology, who certifies it, and who's allowed to export it and to whom. Which brings up a third challenge that, really, has nothing to do with technology. It's about endurance. One-off deals don't build an industry. Defense cooperation tends to get talked about as if signing the contract is the finish line. But honestly, it isn't. So, the real test actually starts after the cameras leave. after the announcement is over. The big question is, can both governments keep funding the research year after year? And can they really stay committed once the first prototype shows up late, maybe over budget, or not quite working the way it was supposed to? That's what industrial endurance really means, and honestly, it's a much harder thing to sustain than a signing ceremony. India's defense industrial strategy is leaning harder into domestic production, private sector involvement, and supply chains that can take a shock. Meanwhile, Japan is rewriting its own defense equipment transfer rules and, actively looking for more international partners as its security environment gets more demanding. Back in July 2026, Japan's Ministry of Defense said that its revised framework should help move Unicorn forward and open up new areas for equipment and technology cooperation. The August 2026 Defense Minister's statement goes even further. India and Japan agreed to deepen research and development cooperation between India's DRDO and Japan's ATLA, stand up a defense industry forum, and, create a working group covering operations, intelligence, equipment, technology, and industrial cooperation. That's a meaningful shift. It suggests both sides are finally recognizing the real problem. You can't build a defense-industrial partnership one project at a time, forever. Build that architecture, and today's small projects become tomorrow's much bigger programs. Skip it, and the partnership stays stuck in the same loop. A promising announcement, a long quiet stretch, then another promising announcement. So here's where I land on it. India-Japan diplomacy is moving well ahead of their actual defense-industrial integration. Unicorn matters less for the antenna and more as a live test of whether the machinery behind it actually works. And, naval shipbuilding, research and development, and industrial supply chains, not any single missile, aircraft, or signed agreement, are probably what decides whether this partnership ends up transformational or just stays diplomatic. The real story here was never about one weapon system. It's about whether two advanced, very different industrial systems can actually learn to build things together and keep doing it for decades. So, what's your take? I'll see you in the next video.